So, in my last recording, I had to cut at the end because it was too long, more than 20 minutes. So the finish was not there, I think. So I will say again the last two stanzas, which is 133 and 134 of the 6th chapter. I think I explained more or less the first one. I mean, it is very clear anyway, but in 133 it says, "No need to mention future Buddhahood, achieved through bringing happiness to beings. How can I not see that glory, fame, and pleasure, even in this life, will likewise come? For patience in samsara brings such things as beauty, health, and good renown. Its fruit is great longevity, the vast contentment of a universal king." So, since we discussed this many times, so I don't need to say it again, but because patience, or the practice of the patience, is a greatest positive action, so therefore, it will eventually or very directly lead us to Buddhahood, complete enlightenment, end of all our sufferings. That's nothing to mention. And for that is because, through patience and through compassion, we bring happiness to beings. And working for the benefit of beings is the most positive thing, most meaningful thing, most beneficial thing that we can do in our life. So it's not only that, it has, you can see. How can I not see glory, fame, and pleasure even in this life? Even in this life, you can see very clearly that people who can really, the more you have patience, actually we cannot achieve anything in our life, in this life also, without patience. Without all these three kinds of patience is needed to have any kind of real success in this life also. For instance, if we get fed up too easily, if we cannot continue, make efforts, and if we get fed up with something and cannot, do not have patience, without patience for anything to achieve, anything that is worthwhile to achieve, we need patience. We need to also undergo hardships, and we have to have patience to endure, forbear hardships. Otherwise, we will never, achieve anything. And also, we need to have open mind. All these three things, to be able to tolerate and to be able to forbear hardships, to be able to control and see how to maintain some kind of a patience, not carried away by our anger and negative emotions, but maintain our stability and patience, and also to have a very tolerant and open mind. And this we can see very clearly is the very important factors for any kind of achievements or any kind of success, whether it's the glory we want, fame we want, riches we want, like to be financially or with the emotionally, if whatever we need to achieve, we need to have those things, and so therefore it is something that is not only for life after life and to enlightenment, and of course that is necessary, but also very temporary, in this life also. For patience in samsara brings such things as beauty, health, and this is also said that from the karmic point of view, they said that your beauty is very much a result of practicing patience. We talk about 30 major and 32 major and 80 minor signs on the body of a fully enlightened being. And a fully enlightened being is supposed to be a very beautiful, handsome, glorious, very, very kind of, good to look at, and when you look at this kind of a person, you feel so good. There's nothing, that's not so, not so nice to look at, And each of these signs, they say, is because of certain, certain mental development or inner development. And the more you have the inner development, the more it comes out as a sign on your body also. So therefore, beauty, health, and all kind of good long life, everything is according to the karmic way of looking. Is although the karma is not about justice, but it is causes and conditions. And actually, we can even see, some people have said that, if you are always angry, and your face becomes very ugly. Your face becomes solid, red, kind of all kind of lines come up which doesn't look nice. But if you are more peaceful, more more patient, more relaxed, then your face, when you become old, also becomes much more nicer, nicer to look at, and things like that. So it is obvious. It's not something difficult to understand. So, and also, it is said that you have this story about that king who was practicing patience, and then not the king, the rishi who was practicing patience, and then meditating. So the king, the story. The king got jealous of him, and then he killed him. And when he killed, he asked, what is, are you patient now? Are you still patient now? And he said, yes, actually, I'm not angry with you. So what I will dedicate or pray or wish will be that when I become enlightened, I will cut all your negative things, your negative emotions, negative karma, and all your negative things, as you cut my body at this point. And you will be the one, you will be the first person that I will bring out of samsara. I will become give you enlightenment. And this is my wish. So he was, really. So because of that, he became the first, the continuer. He became one of the first 5 students of Buddha, and also the first one to become Arhat when Buddha became enlightened. But it is, it took a long time. It was a long time, since many kind of eons, and then during those eons, it is said that the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, always, many times, hundreds of thousands times, become, the Chakravartin kings. He was born as Chakravarti kings, or a very great Bodhisattva. It's kind of alternately. So this is, this is how it is said. So this is the end of the chapter on sixth chapter of Bodhicharyavatara on patience. So I will stop here. There are lots of repetitions, but sometimes may be necessary, sometimes not necessary, but it's just I'm not very very good to say things too clearly without repeating. So with this, the chapter is finished, and of course it is good to read again the text. Of course, in a traditional way, we memorize the whole of root text, and then try to kind of recite that sometimes as much as possible. I also memorized this when I was young, but now I've forgotten most of it. But it's good to read again and again. So next time I will go to the next chapter. That is the chapter on the 7th chapter, which is we usually call diligence, but there are different translations for it. So thank you. I will stop here.